Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time of the month again where we look at the colour readings for each birthday for the following month, and we're almost heading towards the end of the year at a great pace. It's coming up to November. So how has your October gone? Did you use your colours? Mine for October were cyan on grey. And yes, I have been using them. And it's interesting that they've actually resolved a dilemma for me. The grey was all about uncertainty, confusion. And what were those about? Well, basically, it was whether or not I would continue to do these sessions. Mainly because they take such a long time to both read and also edit, but also because there hasn't been a great deal of online engagement with them. Nevertheless, the cyan says, wait. And so I did. And out of the blue, so to speak, came a private message from someone who had been invited by a subscriber to have a look and to consider and to give some feedback. I received that feedback on my channel's Gmail account. I'll put a link to that down in the show notes below, in case you would prefer to talk to me privately rather than engage on a public forum. Nevertheless, it was very heartening, and so here I am once again. I hope that you too have been using your colours if you are so inclined, and that perhaps it has made a difference to the way in which you would normally respond to situations in your everyday life. If you have, please let me know, because I'd be interested to find out just how accurate a lot of these readings are. They certainly are exceptionally accurate when someone is choosing their own colours, but these are general readings, and so not everything will resonate for every person, and I'd like to know just how close those resonations might be, if at all. So what are we going to do this time? Well, the oracle I've chosen for this session is the Medicine Woman Oracle. It's primarily feminine, but then so is cyan. And hopefully it will have some messages for you that will be of benefit as we go through the process. Well, let's now look at a colour reading for people born in March for November 2025. And we'll begin with an oracle card. And just move those around a little. And let's see what the oracle has to offer us in terms of advice. And we'll take that top one there and put it under there for later and pop these aside for the time being. And now a colour reading for people born in the month of March to look at their November 2025. And we begin the month with orange on brown, and we move into orange on pink, and then white on pink, and the underlying energy is cyan on blue. Very well then. Well, we can see that there are two colours here that are repeated. We have orange as the action in what you bring into the month, and we also have it as the action that continues on through the majority of the month. And then we have pink. Pink is the underlying need or drive that operates throughout most of the month, and it continues through until the end of the month as well. As our underlying energy, we have cyan on blue. Cyan on blue, or cyan and blue, sit next to one another on the colour wheel, and so they're very closely related. Blue as the underlying energy means a need to get organized, a need to understand, a need to nurture yourself, to look after yourself and your environment in order to feel better about what's going on. Because blue internally often means there is a sense of dissatisfaction. I'm not entirely happy with the way things are. I need to rearrange them. In the real world, the energy is cyan. Now, cyan is contentment, bliss, everything organized, but it's also stability and stagnation. So the more you are organizing yourself, the more you're looking after yourself, the more likely it is that you'll either find peace and harmony, or else you'll feel as though nothing in your life is changing, and that itself can create a certain degree of frustration, which is what is activating you in the underlying energy that permeates the entirety of the month. Now, when we look at these two, here we have cool energy, yet these tend to be warm energies, and particularly what you're bringing into the month with you. So your underlying energy is in many ways at odds with what is happening to you for the remainder of the month, particularly at the beginning. Here we have orange over brown. Now, when brown is an internal driver, it's all about setting goals. It's about achieving something. It's about developing the skills and the knowledge and everything that is necessary in order for you to do something with yourself. There is this need, this frustration about wanting to achieve. And in the real world, there's either a great deal of fun, because orange is always associated with sociability, so you're getting involved with new groups perhaps, or it's a case of whatever you want to do has caused you a fair degree of alarm in the real world. Orange in the real world often has to do with overcoming a crisis, with having to survive, with having to face a novel situation and overcome whatever the challenges are in that novel situation. So together, those two colors are rather hot. They're creating for you an environment internally of frustration at not being able to complete something or even set goals that you might like to go and complete. And in the real world, while the capabilities are there, they are a lot more challenging than you would otherwise consider necessary for the goals, perhaps the size of the goals that you have created. As we look at how this impinges with the underlying energy, we have here orange and cyan. Now, they are fairly close to being opposites on the color wheel. The true opposite is orange and blue, and you've got that as well. So orange and cyan means that you're fluctuating in the real world between feeling overwhelmed and feeling underwhelmed. So it's 1 minute you're learning something new and it's too much stuff all at once, can't cope with it. On the other hand, it's, oh, I know all this stuff. Why am I having to sit here and go through all of this again? Internally, you've got brown and blue. Now, brown and blue are both colors of work. This is work towards a particular goal. This is work because of work's sake. You need to get things done because nobody else will do it. Here, it's I've got these things I want to get done. So there is a disconnect here between what has to be done and what you want to do. On the other hand, we have orange on blue. Orange and blue, as I said, are the true opposites on the color wheel. I'm feeling discontented in the real world. I'm just going to go out and have fun. Cyan on brown, I need to find something that I want to achieve. In the real world, I've found it. So there is a possibility here that what you're starting off the month with is the opportunities to head in a direction that has been a long stated goal of yours, but it does require you to get out of your comfort zone in order to manage it. By the middle of the month, we have orange over pink. Now, pink internally is vulnerability. I don't know what to do next. I need help. In the real world, there are opportunities for people to offer that help, but it requires you to go and ask for it. And that might not be as easy as you could imagine, because some people, and maybe you're one of these, having been born in March, I know a few people in March who are incredibly stubborn when it comes to asking for help. But this is asking you to ask for help. Ask for help and potentially overcome the drama that comes to your internal self whenever you have to do something that's outside your comfort zone. If we take the orange and blue, we end up with the same situation as we have here. I'm feeling discontented and it's too much of a drama. Feeling discontented, too much of a drama to deal with. Here, it's potentially fun. Here, it's also potentially fun, but because it's underlying or sitting over the top of this vulnerability, it's more likely to be a drama than it is fun. On the other hand, you have cyan over pink, and that is truly the most wonderful combination of all, because it says, I need love, and here's somebody who loves me. I'm vulnerable, and somebody is prepared to come and nurture me, even if that is yourself. So between these two, there is a need to overcome this reluctance to ask for help, and at the same time to find the sort of opportunities that enable you to develop the relationships that are necessary in order for you to feel as though you are loved and at the same time having fun. By the end of the month, we've moved on to white on pink. Now, white and pink together is always getting your just desserts. I'm vulnerable. I don't know what to do. Sometimes it has to do with illness too, so be careful here. I don't know what to do. I'm out of my depth, and in the real world, I am subjected to all sorts of different energies. I scatter them out. I also receive them inwards. There is no ability here to be able to say exactly what it is that you deserve, because this is the universe giving you what you deserve. And that comes from what you've done back here. What things have you decided to do? How do you face the world when you actually have to go out of your comfort zone in order to obtain those things? Are you able to ask for help? Is that help forthcoming, or do you need to do it all yourself? All of that comes out as being a way of retribution, I guess, really, for what you have put out there in the real world. Now, that can be either positive or negative. There's no value associated with this that says either way. If we take the white and the cyan together, we're enlightening the cyan, which means that absolutely you want peace and quiet and stability to the nth degree. On the other hand, pink and blue is all about being able to recognize when you have achieved as much as you possibly can. You have gone as far as you can, and there's really no reason to continue on and upset yourself further and make yourself feel even less in control. White over blue is voluntary sacrifice. This is taking a new perspective on things, as well as doing what is necessary, regardless of what it is in the real world, in order to maintain the greater good. And as we had cyan over pink here, we've also got cyan over pink here. It's bliss and harmony and feeling loved. So all in all, while the start of the month might start off a little bit rocky, by the end of the month, you're starting to feel a lot more settled, I should imagine. Let's have a look at what colours are missing. All right, there's no black, but you do have white. There's no red or yellow or green, but you do have blue. There's no, and you do have brown. You have orange. There's no grey. There is no purple, but you do have both pink and cyan. So here we have 6 colours that represent the skills that you are currently not using that could be of benefit to fill in this anything can happen, this flash of enlightenment, this getting your just desserts. So what are they? Well, we have withdrawal, we have taking charge, we have learning something, we have recognizing opportunities and valuing what is available to you. We have the ability to recognize that there is always a different path, a different way of doing things. It doesn't have to be black and white. And finally, with purple, we have the opportunity to both destroy what was and create something new that is going to be far more beneficial, that will actually heal things. So out of those 6 colors, which is the most appealing and which is the least appealing? If you choose those 2 colors, you will incorporate the rest of this repertoire into what you are doing in the month of November. And you will be filling in this white, this unknown stuff here, with something that is probably going to be more beneficial. So let's examine what the Oracle card has to say about the subject. Here we have Divine Sensuality. I reveal your talent to enchant. Okay. Talents are what brown is all about. This is goals, abilities, skills. Enchantment, on the other hand, is both cyan and purple. So maybe that's a hint. Maybe that's one of the colors that you might consider. Let's see. Wow. Well, some of that was pretty intense, wasn't it? I hope you're finding something useful out of these color readings. And if you're watching them and don't really want to comment online on the open forum, feel free to send me a message through the Gmail account that's attached to this channel. I'll be more than happy to interact with you. In the meantime, may the colors of your life bring you joy and happiness and all of the things that you desire. We're coming up to Christmas soon. That'll be the next time. See you.